All right. What's going on, guys? And welcome again to the Just Joshin podcast show. This is episode 4 today, and we have a very special guest. He was on my varsity baseball team in high school. He was also an absolute a funny guy. Like he actually would be the only guy that would really make me laugh, and I'm like a pretty funny guy myself. My good friend Max. How you doing, Max?
Josh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on here. I'm doing good, brother. I can never complain.
I really glad that I got to hear from you. I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm glad that you had the time to take to do the podcast. So how we usually start this podcast, if you haven't seen the first three, because this is episode 4, is we usually start off with a topic of basically just how we met. So I don't know if you could recollect, because we've known each other for a while. How do
Definitely.
you think that we met, or when was the last time you could think like the first time we met?
I mean, shit. It had to be whatever year you first came to Highland. When did you start Highland?
I've been in Highland since the beginning, so I
So
think
we're talking kindergarten then, really.
yeah, it was. See, the thing about it is that was weird is I don't think we ever had a class together. I don't think one time. Maybe in high school. I mean high school, yeah, but in elementary school, I don't think we ever had a class.
I mean, honestly, that's deep memory. I'm not gonna lie to you. The memory is
Yeah,
shot on that one, but yeah, definitely,
yeah. Everything
definitely in
past like
elementary
middle school
school.
at this point is like completely blank. Like I can't think of
Yeah,
any.
100%.
Um, a few things here and there. The one thing I do remember, that I could definitely say is I don't know how you feel about this. I don't know how you can reflect on this, but I'm gonna title this topic "The Ringleader" because I feel like I remember you, especially up to high school at least, and even further than that, being like the guy that was like the ringleader for everybody. I noticed like in kindergarten, like you'd be the guy that organized the kickball, the baseball, whatever we might be doing. Like you were always the one that would start it up. So I don't know if that just became a natural thing for you to become a leader, or if you everyone just flocked to you, or how did you see it as?
I mean, honestly, naturally, I suppose. I always like to voice my opinion. I like to be heard. I stand on what I stand on. So naturally, I mean, you know, I had some friends who looked up to me and kind of valued my opinion on things. So it just kind of worked out that way. Also, naturally, I think the way humans work, I was always tall and big. Not to
Yeah,
put that in
you were a
a
tall dude. You were like I think got to be over 5 foot for being like that age.
oh
Like it
no, we
was
were in
really
elementary school. Yeah, I was. It looked like I was pushing 7 foot potentially,
yeah. It
capping a
was
little bit. But
everyone was
yeah,
like
I
we
was
was like
big.
Shaq to everybody basic.
Yeah, so I mean, to an extent, not that I struck fear into people or anything like that, but just naturally, I don't know, it just
Got to
came.
look up to. Really, just
Yeah,
that's really what it was.
I
One
agree.
of the key memories I could remember in high school is we always have like that. I mean, in elementary school, we'd have that kickball game,
Yep.
and we'd always have the competition of like who could kick it the furthest. And I swear, at one point, me and Dario got in a huge. I'm gonna have another friend of ours, Dario, at one point on this podcast, hopefully in the future. We'd always argue who kicked the ball the furthest because that dude in elementary school was an absolute phenom. He'd be kicking the
He
ball and be going in
was.
the woods.
He definitely was. I wasn't
Unbelievable.
I wasn't blessed with the kicking ability. I was all right, but yeah, nothing like him.
Well, where you lacking the kicking ability, you made up with all around. Like you might not have been like the best at a single category, but you were the best overall around.
I
That's how
appreciate that.
I feel about. And you definitely were the best leader for sure. Like especially even on like the high school baseball team, I would say you definitely were. You and Dario were probably the I would say the top two were probably like the leaders of the team, really. Um, Speaking of high school, this is a big topic I wanted to talk about because this is actually huge. You guys don't know. For anybody that's seen my YouTube channels with before Jam Vibez, if you guys know, you know. My YouTube channel, your boy Joshie, my Instagram, all that stuff. The name Joshie, to my recollection, I think the first person I heard it from was this guy. I don't know if I could confirm that, but I
It's
promise
quite
you, to my
possible.
recollection, I think that you were the first one. This one, first year in high school, when I came back to public school, he was the first one to say it, at least to my knowledge.
I think honestly, it was either me or Mikey Mo that came up with it, but I was definitely leading the pack on that one of starting it.
Yeah, and it just stuck from there. So honestly, if it wasn't for this guy, we wouldn't have all the your boy Joshie's in the YouTube channels and the all that because like that name it stuck. It's funny because I originally hated that name. I really originally despised it. And then after a while, for some reason, it grew on me because not even without me asking, everyone in the school would just call me Joshie. Like everyone. I
It
don't know,
worked. It worked.
and yeah, it just stuck. It was like almost like a healthy virus. Like one person said, another person caught it, and then they just flew on from there. Now everyone from my job, my family, my friends, everyone calls me Joshie. It's just I don't, and it just stuck from there. So I guess thank you for that.
No problem. No problem.
But it was just a very interesting thing because I never expected to get a nickname like that and it just sticking. Um, so, going on from that, I would like to talk about some of our high school memories and our high school friends and all that type of stuff because we really haven't like gotten together like that since high school. We've been really going our separate ways with college and doing our own thing. I know you guys were big partiers up in Albany. I don't know if you ended up finishing there or if you went somewhere else because I know you guys and I don't know who else went, but there was like a bunch of people. If you guys don't know, like uh we're from New York and again like there's this party school. It's like Albany. It's these guys would party hard. Like I thought, you know, Marist, I went to Marist, we party pretty hard, but these guys like they're like party hardy, like hangover type 3-2 type party, like all the way. I mean I wasn't there, so I couldn't tell to see it, but that's what I've seen from the stories and everything like that. Can you confirm that?
Albany is a wicked, wicked place. If you have a daughter or a son, don't send them there. Horrible idea. I tell everyone it's almost like a GTA server, truthfully. But yeah, I had my fair share in college. It definitely 23 now, 2 years removed from college. I did graduate with a bachelor's.
Congrats on
Yeah,
that.
I it took a lot out of me, man. It was a lot, but it was fun. I had a great time. Albany's if you live in New York, I'd say second, maybe to possibly Syracuse, but even then, Albany's definitely the mecca of partying, without a
I heard
question.
Syracuse is pretty wild. Unfortunately, I was in the capital of the STD world. I swear, because Marist for
Yep.
some reason got a bad rap. I don't know if I can ever confirm this, but we've always gotten a bad rap with our STDs. I don't know what it is. Thankfully, I stayed away from that
Let's go.
situation. But I don't know what's going on with that. I just heard like everyone was just having a breakout, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm getting out of that. Um, but going back to high school, I wanted to play a little game with you. I've not actually not done with this in any of the previous episodes. I figured this would be fun though, because you with your nicknames. So I wanted to see if we could do our high school superlatives. I want to give you maybe a few names here and there, maybe some of your friends or people that you've associated with, and I want you to tell me what you think they're most likely to. So, all
Okay.
right, let's start out with Nik Turner.
Most likely, I mean, he won it actually. Most likely to have credit card debt, and then it still stands. Still stands. That kid
Poor Nick.
swipes. That kid
Shots
swipes like no
fired.
other. Nah, he knows it. He loves to purchase things. He loves to. Manageable debt. I don't think he'll ever get into a hole where, he can't afford it, but he'll definitely be maxing out credit cards as the days go further.
Yeah, no, that's honestly why like I still haven't to this day gotten a credit card because I know eventually I'm gonna have to get one, but I'm just trying to stay out of that debt because I know a lot of people are like get a credit card, but it's like if you can't pay off the debt, then it's not really
Well,
worth
that's
it
the
because
thing.
the interest rates.
You got to spend what you know you have. It's just about self control. But I would definitely recommend getting a credit card. Getting credit's a big thing, brother.
Oh yeah. Well, me in real estate, you know, kind of have to get a credit card at some point.
Definitely.
So what about Tommy Cipollini?
Oh, Tommy Chip. Let's see. Most likely out of our friend group to have the most kids. I think Tommy's gonna have the most children.
Really?
I do.
I never would think of that, but honestly, you know, he seems like he would be a good dad.
He's
He
gonna be a
definitely
good blue
seems like
collar
one.
dad. That's what he's
Good
gonna
blue.
be.
Okay. Mike Byington.
Mike. Most. Ooh, Mike. It's his birthday too, actually. So happy birthday, Mike.
Really? Oh,
It is
happy
his
birthday,
birthday right
Mike.
now. Yep. Um, Most likely to give you a shirt off his back.
You know what? I actually respect that. The one thing I could tell about Mike is anytime I talk to that guy, he always would give you 100% his respect, and he would always
Yep.
give you his honesty. I never, it never struck me for him to be like a dishonest liar. He always would just be honest with you about it.
Nah, Mike's one of the best people I've ever met for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. Mikey Mo.
Most likely to draw someone for you. Mikey Mo will throw hands
No,
for
I
you.
get that. I'll never forget there was a few people I forget one point in high school that were messing with. I forget who it was. And I was talking to Mikey over it, and he's like, honestly, like, he was like, fuck him. Like, honestly, if you ever have a problem, like, just tell him like that I got your back. And like I was like, really? I respect that, Mike. Thank you. I
Yep.
appreciate that. And I know he means it. Like I know he's not joking about that. Like if he
I've seen him get down. I've seen him get down. Mikey will do that.
And the thing about Mikey that's crazy is like he's not, and this is not a knock at Mikey, but he's not even the biggest dude. But he's like he's strong and he's freaking electric. If he gets in some heat, he's taking you down. I don't care like if you're a six
I
foot
agree.
guy. If you're he's like he trust me. I don't care like what size you are. If he wants to get to you, he's gonna get to you.
I agree. I agree. He's got that dog in him for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. What about Frank Alfonso?
Frank Alfonso. Most ooh, most likely. Oh, I feel like Frank's gonna make a lot of money no matter what he does.
He does seem very successful. His dad is also very professional. I could definitely see it.
Yep.
He's also going to like I feel like every week I see him at some football, basketball, baseball. So I'm like, he's got to have some money because you got to figure those are at least some 50, 60, $100 tickets, whatever they may be, but they're expensive. And if you're doing that like on a off weekly basis, you're going to be spending some bread there. Plus the food, it's like you're going to be spending
Yeah.
20, $30 worth of food easily at venues like
100%.
that. So I definitely think he's got to be making some sort of money. I know he was doing the work at the pizza place, but I feel like he's probably got to be doing something more than that because there's no way that with that money from the pizza place he'd be able to afford all that unless he's just grinding hours. I don't
Uh,
know.
I I'm not too sure either, but if I remember correctly, he was a math guy. So I think he went
Oh
to
yeah,
college
yep.
for something with
He
math.
didn't he get either valedictorian or salutatorian? I think, or was am I
He was
am I?
up there. He was up
He
there.
was
If
definitely
not,
up there. I forget. He was a grade I think above us. So
correct. Yep.
yeah. So I'm not sure. Okay. What about Shivan?
Shivan. Um, speaking of Shivan, actually, before I give him, what's your beef with him, man? What's the beef with
So
Shivan?
okay.
Let's bury the hatchet with Shivan.
All right, all right, all
Shivan's
right, all right.
you ready? I'll give you my most Shivan is same thing as Michael. Give you the shirt off his back.
Yeah.
He's just Canadian, so it's a little bit different. Different humor, different style.
If anything, that's nicer. A lot of times Canadians are very or
Exactly, that's
people
my
from
point.
are very,
Yeah.
very nice. I actually didn't know that about Siobhan. See, I don't know where it came from. This is, I guess, we'll delve into story time because I'll just caption story time now. So I don't know where I heard this from, but he always gave me the vibe, or somebody told me that he talks shit behind my back. I don't know where. I forgot who I heard this from, but I'm like, I don't know why, but he always gave me that vibe too, because for some reason I'd always want to, hang out or talk with people and like, try because obviously, as you know, and I'm not afraid to admit, I wasn't very popular in high school. I would say before I turned 18, 19 and got with my first true love, I'm not gonna lie, I was an unpopular guy, and I really wasn't that. I glowed up after like my 19th, 20th
You
year. Like
did. You
before
definitely
that,
did.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm be low key. I was kind of ugly. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not. I know you're not supposed to shit on yourself. I'll be flat out honest. I was not that. I was not wearing the right shit. I couldn't take a picture to save my life, and I know we all was secretly clowning on me with that. And I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have. I'm honestly okay with it, considering that I kind of deserved that. Because I
Listen,
was
you gotta get it out the mud, bro. Start
Yeah, so
somewhere, you know what I mean?
I was like, yeah, I thought I was the shit and I was not. I mean, I wasn't confident in myself, but then after I got with that with my first girlfriend like that was like 2 years, like she showed me confidence and showed me how to dress and glow up and everything like that. So I'm appreciate for that. But yeah, with the Siobhan situation, I don't know where it came from, but that's that I heard that and I always was like, okay, maybe it's true because every time I try to want to hang out with him or talk to somebody, try to hook something up. they'd always make some excuse, and I know it wasn't an excuse like of like I'm actually busy. It was more like they really just wanted to find excuses not to hang out with me, and
Yeah,
that kind of bothered me. Um, and I will say that that did cause problems for me in college because not you per se, but all of high school in general did give me uh problems with my anger because I was so frustrated that people wouldn't give me the time of day when I was only being nice to people. Yes, at one point in my life, I'll admit I was really stressing on political and stuff like that and religious stuff. I stepped back a little bit since that. I'm still feel certain ways about things, but obviously I'm not
of
pressing them on
course.
people. And I think the main problem was people well, another thing, I guess a good story time to tell, and I think I'll let Max tell this, to stretch on this. Another reason I think, and my friend just let me know about this, and I think that's why I wasn't really liked as much in high school too. My own fault, but it also was a health issue, is you know where I'm going with this. I used to have the absolute most diabolical farts. And I know this is like a really
Top one,
weird,
top one.
weird subject to talk about. But man, Max will tell you because he was on the varsity team. Like I would be wanting people to throw hands with me. That's how bad it was. Like people would literally want me to get kicked off the bus and throw hands with me. It was that bad. Like because I had
I
Crohn's and it was so bad and I couldn't like help it sometimes. But
I
man,
vividly remember in Miss Whiston's geometry
yes, I
class,
was hoping you'd bring up this story.
you fucking nuked that room out. And yeah, honestly, you're right. Like it was so fucking bad that you like I truthfully I would have never hit you over it. That's not who I
Yeah.
am, but I, Josh, that shit was serious, bro. That
No, no, I know it was.
was serious.
It was really bad. I know exactly what he's talking about because we were in the middle of an out was a geometry test in Miss
Yep.
Whiston's, and it was so quiet. It was like you could hear crickets chirping. That's how quiet it was. And I was just doing my test, and I was like, man, I thought I had one of those ones where like you could just like let it out and it's quiet and like no one notices. I
Nope.
mean, it was like hardwood chairs we were sitting on, or like hard metal, and that shit slapped, and not the good
Yeah, it
type of
did.
slap. And I mean, everyone was looking at me. I remember your expression. You looked like you saw a ghost with how you
Dude,
looked at me. And I
dude.
was at first trying to like act like I didn't do anything. And then everyone just started like looking at me and pointing at me. And I'm like, oh, thanks, guys. And then Miss Whiston, our teacher, got mad and basically kicked me out of the class and had me do my test outside. That's how ridiculous it was.
It was like
Um,
radiation. It truthfully was like
yeah,
radiation.
it was bad. See, the thing about it is too, it's not even like one of those ones where it's just loud with no like smell. Like it would just linger. It would
Yeah.
stay in
Didn't
the
move.
spot
It didn't
for like,
move.
and we'd have field trips where people would literally be putting down all the windows, like yelling. People would be like literally almost like the girls would be like all like getting upset, like all the guys would be getting pissed off. I mean, dang, it was crazy.
I hadn't thought about that for a while. It's funny as hell.
Yeah, no, but thankfully I don't do that anymore. I think that's one thing I'm glad people forget about me because my I didn't even my best friend that was my friend Chad that we had last time on. He hasn't wouldn't even go to school with me in high school. We met in college, and when I told him that, he said maybe that's the reason you weren't liked. I'm like, oh shit, he
It
didn't think of it that
that
way.
that did not help any cause at all, for sure.
No, it didn't. It definitely didn't. But again, thankfully, like because I don't have Crohn's anymore, and like I
We
never,
love
I
that. We love
probably
that.
never do that anymore. Honestly, like I might have to fart like once, maybe like a day, maybe. Like I actually don't have to. And it's not even like that bad anymore. I think it was just because I had that condition, like it really messed my stomach
Definitely.
up.
That makes sense.
Um, Okay, so I guess since we're still in the story time section, do you have any specific stories that you could think of times that we shared that you can't forget because they're just like there and they're just gonna stick with you?
I will never forget. I don't know what year it was. Um, it had to have been around sophomore year, but we were in someone's classroom and it was like summertime or spring at least. And I just remember you turning on Christian rock and dancing in the back of the room. And
Oh, wait,
this was back, go
were
ahead.
you in the class with Were you in Miss Simpson's class in algebra, or am I
That's
losing
what it
my?
was. It was,
Yo,
yeah. It was Simpson.
that was the same day I think too. Not only that. but there was a time we were taking the Algebra 1 test, and everyone put their
Oh,
phones
bro, yo,
in the
actually, yeah,
office.
that's the real one. You're right.
And I was so salty because I'm like, why don't they trust us to just keep our phones on the side? I'm not gonna actually look at it, and I don't feel like having to get my ass
You
up and walk all the way to the principal's office to put it to the. So I'm like, I'm
no,
just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna keep it, and you can finish the story.
you came in late. So we had given Miss it was Bowman. It was Miss Bowman was our proctor
Yeah,
for the exam. You came in late and basically she was like, "Oh, like, blah blah blah. I already skipped that part, so you have to go bring your phone to the office." And you were basically not having it. So you took it and you chucked it into the corner of the room. So
yeah,
we're
underneath the
sitting
air vent.
there and I'm like, "Josh, just go fucking put the phone away. Like it's not a big deal." And you're like, "Shh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And then I remember it went off.
Yes, it went
Went
off
off.
like
You
right
didn't
before
even
the test was gonna
you
start.
didn't even silence the damn thing. It starts going off. And then I remember Olivia Grader. I don't want to respectfully name drop, but I remember she looked and was like, because Miss Bowman was asking questions. She was like, "Oh, whose phone is that?" Olivia was like, "It was Josh's." And I remember you looked at her and you were so tight and you were like, "The rat
Oh,
always dies, bitch." I'll never forget
no,
that.
I said like honest. I said you. I think I said like you could go to hell, bitch, or some shit like
You
that.
tweaked. You tweaked. You tweaked
Yeah,
for sure.
I was pissed because I'm like, why would you snitch? Like, if she wouldn't have known, maybe she would have just took it to the office and just no one would have said anything. But of course, somebody had to say
You
something.
were you were dust anyways, bro. You were chalked. Like there was no coming
No,
back from
yeah.
that. But yeah, no, that's definitely the story I will never forget. You're right.
One of the ones I always laugh at. I was crying laughing when this originally happened. Was we were playing a game, and this again played in the same team in high school, for baseball. We were playing. I think it was Millbrook or something like that. I forget who it was. It was like somewhere in Dutchess County. I don't know where. I don't know. But we were beating the crap out of them. I think it was like 16-3, and Nick, we talked about earlier, was up, and the dude hit an absolute nuke, like probably left center
Yep.
field, hits the top of the fence and stays in, and he was so tight. He
Yeah, he
was
was.
absolutely like he was so tight. And I remember you were from the dugout, and you were like, damn. And he was like, you're like Bill Turner's having a raging boner right now.
I forgot about
I
that
was
too.
dying. I was absolutely dying. If you don't know, that's his dad. That's Nick's dad, and he's
I
really
do remember
passionate
that.
about baseball. And man, that like I was so dead when you said that. And then it makes insult to injury because our coach, which at that point was Buonamano, the next day in gym class, I'll never forget this. I was that added to the laughter was he said, Turner, if you would just said like went to the weight room, probably would hit that shit out.
He would have. He would have. I listen. I tried. I tried to get everyone in the weight room. No one listened. And
Well, I
ultimately,
mean,
yeah, Nick hit squats for 1 week. That was like a home run. That was a home run.
honestly, if it was only not even a foot, that literally hit the absolute top of the fence. I don't think it could have been any closer than that.
I low key still bully him to this day about not hitting a home run ever.
Did we ever have somebody hit a home run on our team?
Absolutely, absolutely. I
Trying
had
to remember who did.
well, we got fucked because I remember
Dario
our
had one,
senior
I'm pretty
year.
sure, one time.
I had one against New Paltz, but we got screwed because Dylan hit one too. We got
Did
screwed because
Tyler
we
ever
didn't
hit
have
one?
maybe.
Whatever happened to Tyler? I see him on Instagram and Snapchat. I always thought we would connect well, and he just kind of did his own thing. That's I guess another thing.
He, I
What's
think he's
Tyler's
becoming a.
superlative?
I think he's becoming most likely to. I don't know. Well, last I heard was he was in Tampa and he was trying to be a nurse.
Oh, really? That's
And then
interesting.
I know he got booed up. So, but yeah, I
Yeah, I know.
honestly
I heard. I guess.
I haven't heard from him in a while either.
Yeah, I know. He at one point he was growing his hair really long. Man, I was like, okay, that's cool. He's trying to become like a surfer dude, basically. Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention is that this guy has a Twitch channel. At least to my knowledge, he does, because I always see him posting all the time. He does what is it, Apex? You do
Yep.
Apex?
Yep.
So I'm gonna if you don't mind, if you want to send me the link, I could put it in the description. So if people want to check out your Twitch channel, I can
Let's
definitely
go. I appreciate
show you
that.
some support. You also another thing I find interesting is I was trying to sell baseball cards. I'm gonna also mention this. And if you guys have anybody that's looking to get your baseball cards or your cards appraised and stuff like that, I know this guy doesn't because I asked him about a card and he actually had the answer basically. How did you get involved in that? Like, do you actually appraise cards, or like, is that from your job or something?
I during quarantine, when we first got shut down, I basically got into it because it was like technically Logan Paul with the Pokemon, but I didn't want to dabble in Pokemon, so I got in sports cards.
Yeah.
Make a long story short, I moved down to Westchester after I graduated.
Oh, are
Ultimately,
you still down there now?
yeah, I'm living in
Oh,
Westchester.
nice.
So ultimately, I ended up finding a job in Westchester at a card shop, and I'm at a point now where I manage basically two stores and then an online eBay store in the card market, and I love it. So I was really good at being able to buy and flip them. It's almost like analyzing the stock market when it comes to these players. Because like for instance, Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
His
He's
rookie
hot right
card,
now.
he wins. If he wins, he goes to Super Bowl. His stock goes up. Same thing. It's all about finding the point of when to buy, when to sell. And I made a lot of money off of it during the pandemic, and I got good at it. Um, and then ultimately now I'm involved in it, and it's my
What's the
career for right
rarest card
now.
that you found? Like, what's the rarest card you've come across that you can think?
Um, Not necessarily rare to an extent, but I have a pretty monstrous Steph Curry rookie card that's worth about a couple grand.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bought it. I bought it pretty low. So
Did the
at some
person
point
not
I'll
know what
sell
it
it.
was worth?
No, he did. Basically, a lot of it comes down to like being on eBay and trying to get bids and getting again, analyzing what the card sells for and seeing if you can, snipe it for a lower price. Because
Yeah,
the
I
card's
get you.
selling for, a consistent 500 and you can get it for 300, boom, the
Well,
profit's there.
I'd always do it, and sometimes it's risky because it's according to what condition it is. Is a lot of times you go to yard sales, and especially like older grandparents, they're selling their kids or their teenagers or even
Yep.
their cards from like long ago, and they don't know like what it's worth at all. They'll just sell it to you a lot of the times for like $5, and you might find like $100 card in there. I think I actually found some probably not worth a ton, but compared to what I bought for it, it was a sale like a bunch of like Bo Jackson rookie cards and Ken Griffey Juniors and
Yep.
like and considering I paid $5 for it, I mean, you probably can get maybe like $10, $15 for some of those cards. I mean, not a lot, but maybe. And then like just one of those cards is just worth like, all the what I paid for the entire box.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I
So
didn't I didn't take it that route because I'm more into the newer stuff. Um, Basically the way that the market is, they created exclusivity within newer cards.
yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I love it. Basketball and football cards are my shit.
Yeah, so I actually have some maybe that you'd want to look at because I have, like I said, the Shaq rookie card and I have the Tim Duncan rookie card. It's also I don't know if this would hurt or help it, but it's the word for it when they put the plastic over it and stuff like that.
Graded.
Not great. It's like the hard plastic to keep it
Oh,
safe.
it's in a top loader.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, something like
It's
that. Like
sleeve. Yes, you put it in a sleeve and then you throw it in a top loader. That
yeah.
or a
So
one
it's
touch.
yeah. They're like so. It's like basically bubble wrap. That's how much of like plastic is on it to make sure it doesn't get damaged or bent or whatever. So I have
Definitely
like
take a look.
bunch of I have some Jordan cards too. I some of them I saw on eBay. The exact card were being sold for like $200. I mean, it's not amazing, but
Yeah.
it's something.
Listen, profit's profit, man.
Okay, and this guy also has a TikTok channel too. He also dabbles in doing these TikToks. I noticed because I have a TikTok channel too, and like the perfect lifestyle, I'll call it, because he does one where it says filter. He has to find the perfect dog, the perfect house, the amount of kids, and he does this like every day, guys. So if you
We
guys are
beat it. I
interested,
beat it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
beat
I
it.
saw that. I saw that you
I
you
beat it
finally got it.
finally.
But my biggest question is because I asked him this before, and I don't know if he delved too deep into it. This guy would always be so close, and I would think he has it. Because the last one's a car, and would come up a Jeep, and I'm thinking, oh, you guys won, right? And he's like, I have a problem with Jeeps. I don't like Jeeps, so screw that. And I always wondered what his problem with Jeeps. Apparently, he does not like Jeeps, and I know with our generation, Jeeps are very popular. So I just want to know what his perspective is on Jeeps.
Jeep Wranglers are not. I listen. I will never buy a Jeep brand car to begin with, but Wranglers is where my certain beef comes from. Granted, we live, or at least we live. I lived, but we live upstate. Technically, there's roads you could take the Jeep on, but Wranglers are not meant to be everyday driving cars. I get it if you like the style of it, but they're pieces of turd between electrical problems. They don't drive very nice. It's just you're talking about $60,000 to drive one off the lot. and
I
it's just not.
remember
It's not a
was it
nice car. It's not a
Timar?
nice car.
Was it Timar that always would drive the Jeeps? I promise you, that dude would
Timar
always
did have a Jeep.
he would
Timar did have
always
a
roll up
Jeep.
in his Jeep every single time. I don't know what his problem was with me. He's another one for some reason that always would have a problem with me. I feel like I don't know why. He'd always have some beef with me, but he never seemed to like me. And I don't feel like besides maybe the what we talked about before. I don't feel like there was anything I really did besides maybe that to like really make him hate me. So we're at the 10-minute warning here, which is perfect because we're actually ahead of schedule. We've already talked about a lot of stuff.
Let's go.
But is there anything you could think of, like maybe why? I don't know.
Timar, you're saying?
Yeah,
Listen, a lot of people change, especially from high school. Like I definitely did. I've actually seen Timar recently. Same thing. We're grown men now. So to an extent,
yeah.
most of the shit that happened in high school, you just got to kind of throw it out of the door. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean nothing actually. Believe it or not, nothing bothers me that happened because it's like it's whatever. But always just wondered why certain people didn't like certain people, even if it was me, if it was somebody else. Because I know certain people would have beefs, and I just
The
always
same
wondered.
thing though. You're childish, just childish shit.
Yeah, fair
So
enough. Yeah,
that's what I would chalk it up to. Because I mean, even everyone was just childish. Put it simply.
yeah. You remember when it was I won't say certain names because it's a negative thing to say, but when two certain individuals on our baseball team almost got in a physical fight on the dang field. This was like I think junior year, like straight up, like, and it was because literally one dude barely touched another dude's bat and dropped it, and the other dude freaking went crazy. And we had to actually have the coaches separate us. Separate. It's insane. I don't know what the heck that was all about, but they just had like some problems apparently.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing, man. Just stupid, petty shit. Looking back at it now, like everything in general, at the time it seemed like a big deal, but it's all minuscule.
Yeah, it's I at this point when I'm older now, I probably see you could agree is as we get older, we see that these guys that were once, we were their age, we're like, why are they getting upset over this little shit? Like it's one thing if like somebody called someone's mother ugly or some shit, but like I mean little petty shit, it just gets people under their skin, and I don't understand why it gets them so hot and bothered. I don't know if it's the testosterone, maybe it's like the puberty going through
Oh,
them,
of
but like
course, of course, 100%. I mean, listen, I was like that. I remember, I was just getting angry at stupid shit.
I don't even
That's all
think
it
I can
was.
remember you ever angry though. That's what's crazy. Like I don't think I've ever seen you like mad.
Uh,
I know your nickname
most
was Mad
people,
Max,
most
but
people
like
haven't. I
sometimes
don't, especially now. Like, I don't
are
allow
you more of
myself
like a
to stress
quiet
shit.
angry, like you don't show it, like
Yeah,
you're more of like
exactly.
you'll know when it's about to go down, but you don't really just show it on your face.
100%. I don't like anyone knowing my next move. I don't like to be able to be read and
That's fair.
analyzed. I pride myself in that, low key. As
Yeah,
much of
no.
a red flag as that might be, I
No, no,
don't care.
it's not a red flag. Like you gotta keep yourself secure because if you let your guard down and people know what you're gonna do, they'll be expecting it. So um
Incognito. Exactly.
yeah. I noticed that too. You at one point took down a lot of your pictures and stuff like that and I don't know if it was
You, you know
your
what?
TikTok
We're gonna
or what it was.
we're gonna talk about it really quick. Do you remember when you messaged me about the girl who added you on Snapchat?
Yeah.
Do you still have her?
I still do. It was your girlfriend, I guess, supposedly. That's what you told me, at least. I don't know if that's was true, but
No, it
yeah.
was. It was. It
So it was
was.
weird because I always felt uncomfortable because this girl was messaging me and I'm like, hello, who are you? And she's like, oh, I'm this girl, like I'm just a fan of yours from your TikToks. I'm like, okay. And so
Moral of the
I was
story
like,
here, Josh.
yes.
Fuck that bitch. And you know what? Before you don't have to remove her if you don't want to, but after this episode
I
gets
mean,
posted, I hope she sees this. Fuck her.
honestly, I feel the same way with my exes. Honestly, with I've been shit on for no reason. Literally, I actually have a restraining order against one right now. So
Good. Good. Listen,
I do not
you
them
ever you
against me. I
you ever
do.
heard you ever heard of DTB?
ECB is that like a famous podcast or YouTube or something like
Nope.
that?
Don't trust bitches.
Oh,
And I
actually,
respect all women, but do
oh,
not
that's
trust
yeah.
bitches.
No, that's one thing. I would like to mention too is like I know because we've had dating stuff like that before on this podcast. It was like the second episode with my friend Shannon. You know, people can be shitty. Doesn't matter if you're a men or women. So we're not. It's not like we're picking on women right now. It's just the experiences we've had that have not been
Exactly.
going
It's
good
a
on
it's
our
it's a
way. So
gender fluid. It's gender fluid. If you're a piece of shit person, you're a piece of shit person. That's that.
yeah, so I don't know like what all that situation was about, but like she just messaged me and then I was like and then you said texted me saying like is this girl, you know this girl, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, she followed me, whatever. And I don't know where that what that situation's about. I and I put it this way, I don't know. I don't even know who she is. I've even asked her like, who are you? Because like she's just like a fan, and I'm like,
You don't want to know her. You don't want
no,
to know her.
trust me, I don't because at first I freaked me out because my ex is so psychopathic. I thought she planted her there to like try to like get more information about me or something like that because I
Nah,
have her
you
blocked.
definitely wasn't that.
And I was just making sure because I definitely would not want to have that situation happen. I still think she's actually not this particular girl. I'm talking about like in general. I still think my ex actually has a one or two people planted in my Instagram that are still looking at my shit to go back to her. But that's a whole different story in itself. But yeah, I don't know anything about that girl. And I don't know why she followed me randomly. I don't know if she's just looking for clout or if like she actually was just generally interested in my videos or whatever.
I can't truly remember, but again, moral of the story here is fuck her. Fuck anybody who does you wrong. Doesn't matter male or female. It's all
Yeah.
about wealth and intelligence, man. That's it. Moving forward, that's all you want to strive for.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I honestly right now at the situation, I'm not afraid to admit it, but like I'm single and I'm not afraid to admit it because honestly right now with the situation I'm in financially and with how much work I have every single day, I don't really have time for a relationship. Like after I broke up with this girl, I think it was in
Once the
May.
bag comes, the women come.
Well, I don't like that, and the fact that, you know, they're after your money. I'd rather at least them know that I'm not here to give you money. I'm here to, like, be in a relationship with you, so I hope that is the end of the day what it comes down to. But I don't know. Right now I'm just focusing on my career, which again is real estate, and,
Good, bro.
I've been really grinding hard. I'm trying to sell some houses and stuff like that. So we are at the 3-minute warning, so if you have any last thoughts, don't be afraid to share them. If you have any other last stories, like I said, thoughts, like it's the 3-minute warning. So this is the time where we kind of just have like crunch time. We can just talk about anything really.
Listen, man, you know, I'm at a point in my life where I just want to preach positivity. Like I said, health, wealth, all that. One love. And I just hope, especially you, man, I hope the real estate shit works out. I hope
Yeah,
I hope at the end of the day you find whatever it is in life you're looking for. And you know, man, I hope this works out. I hope the podcast works out. I know I'm about to bring you some views from this shit.
I'd
I know I'm about
appreciate
to.
that because I'm. It's slow, but I just you know what? I just want to do this for fun. I wasn't even expecting to get like anybody on the podcast. Like
It's the
I just
grind,
wanted to
man.
do it for
It's the
fun.
grind.
You know, it's something to keep me off the stresses of work because I'm working like nonstop in the office, making calls, doing yada yada yada. And honestly, some of my people actually are looking at my posts. Like they actually my coworkers and stuff like that look at it. So shout out to you if you guys are watching and you made it this far because I'm probably sure you probably didn't stay for 40 minutes, but if you did, you're real ones for that.
Nah, everybody
Um,
better watch the whole damn thing, or I'm gonna be
I
tight.
mean, I would say we're generally these are more very entertaining. Like I don't think like people are gonna be like sitting here like, man, this is boring as fuck. Like I most of the time like we talk about like shit that's like actually like okay, you know what, this is interesting. Um, so one thing I will say that's really interesting is the fact that you mentioned about like no one should treat you like shit and like used to treat you right and everything like that. The thing about it is I'm mostly my motivation on being successful and making money and doing good in this career now is that ex that basically told me that I wouldn't amount to anything. I also wouldn't be successful without her. She actually gave me the idea to get into real estate. So actually thank you.
Good. That's the fuel,
And
man. You got to have a why.
so
You always have
I'm
to have a
gonna
why.
going to prove her wrong.
Good.
And the funniest thing is actually when I was out of shape and I was because you know at one point I started going to the gym pretty seriously. I didn't like she didn't do anything when I was not working out when I was being lazy. But when I started working out, that's when she broke up with me. I'm like, I actually am starting to get in shape now. I'm starting to do good financially, and then you break up with me. That makes no sense. But okay. Um.
Listen, the
Uh.
grass isn't always greener, and they're gonna find out. You know.
Yeah. Well, we are at the minute mark, so that's fine. We're gonna wrap it up here. I appreciate the time that you took, Max. So we are done with episode 4. We will be having another guest, possibly also this week, because we have another person I'm gonna be talking to. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next week in the Just Joshin podcast. Thanks, guys.
Peace and love.
See
Peace
you
and love.
later.